Hello my dear friends, I am Prashant Mahavani and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. I hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to talk about electoral bonds, and recently this thing is out that you find invisible tracking number on electoral bond. Now this can create a big issue in future, in present as well, because you can ask this big question that with the help of this invisible tracking number, can government know who is buying how much of this electoral bond for which political party? This is the big question that we are asking today. The other thing is, electoral bonds are associated with elections. Elections are directly associated with our democracy. I'm sure we all agree on this thing, that the more free and fair election we have in our country, the better it is for the democracy of our country. And we need a clean, a progressive, a sustainable democracy, because there are many things that we have to achieve as a nation. But this can be done only when we have growth and development. They are directly, indirectly associated with good, clean political system. Because what happens is that we have this representative democracy in our country, right? We select or we elect few people, and they are the ones who will take decisions on our behalf, and directly and indirectly all the things that we have around us, they are a product of this decision taken by these representatives of people. So in this case, or in this way, political parties play a very important role in strengthening our democracy. But this electoral bond thing and this invisible tracking number is raising many issues and many questions. We'll go through it in detail, but before that, if you want to download the PDF of this lecture, you will get it from my Facebook page or Twitter handle. Check out StudyIQ.com to find out more about our pen drive and tablet courses. Now, electoral bonds were launched by Finance Minister during his budget speech. Whilst giving his budget speech, Finance Minister said that the main aim of this political electoral bonds is to clean political funding in our country. We know the role of cash, right? And we also know that because too much of cash is used in funding political parties, this is one of the main reasons why we find too much of black money in the system as well. If we want to get rid of black money, if we want to strengthen our democracy, then we have to find some innovative, you can say innovative, resilient ways of funding our political parties. Now, whilst launching this electoral bonds, and this is a very important point, I would like you guys to keep this point as point number 1. Just hold this point in your mind for time being, and you will know about it, why this point is important. Finance Minister said or promised that no donor to any political party need fear being tracked or harassed by anyone in power. What happens is that if government will come, or if it can find out who is giving, say for example, a big company called X is giving money to a political party B which is in opposition, and a political party A which is in power, or if it is a ruling party, then if somehow if A can find out how much X is giving to B, then there are high chances that A can take some revenge, or it can create some troubles for this company X. So we don't want this situation, and secrecy is of course a very important thing, no doubt, right? Now let me take you through some specifications of electoral bonds. As per 2nd January 2018 Press Information Bureau release, that means Government of India said that electoral bonds are interest-free banking instruments. You can buy them from specified branches of SBI only. SBI is the only bank from where you can get these electoral bonds. You can buy them in multiples of 1,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh or 1 crore rupees. Their validity is 15 days. And this is the second point that I would like you guys to hold it in your mind for time being. Government has said, and this is how it works, that if you want to encash this electoral bonds, or if a political party wants to encash this electoral bonds, then they can get it only through this registered and designated bank account of that particular political party. Very important point here. Again, some more specifications. Purchase days, you have just 10 every 3 months. So on January you have 10 days, April, July, October. So in total you have 40 days in a year. During this general election era or this phase, you get 30 days extra. This will be notified every time by the government, so you have some extra days, and if you want to fund this political parties of your choice, then you can do that. You can fund multiple political parties as well if you want. Now, the main job, again, the main aim here is to reduce or to eliminate this use of black money, unclean money in politics, and to clean political system in our country. Now, of course, black money plays a very negative role, but what about other things? There are other questions that we can ask, and this will help you, this will give you a sort of overall picture as well. Once we get this overall picture, there's some other changes that we have seen in recent past. Once we'll go through it, then I'll take you through this invisible number thing as well. And I believe that these things will help you a lot with your overall understanding as far as this election process is concerned, because you can find direct and indirect questions based on elections, black money, and other things in your mains examination, in your interview as well. Now, political funding and issues. The first question that we can raise is this thing: private interest of donor versus public interest in transparency. Now, if a donor is giving money to a particular political party, then that's his or her choice. That's something that he or she is allowed to do, no doubt. But what about this confidentiality? We should know about who is giving how much, or we should at least know this thing, that what percentage of money received by a particular political party is through electoral bond, is through this via check or via digital medium, how much is cash, so that we can come to know about whether these things are clean or not. The other thing is, if you observe the recent changes that have taken place in our system, like this finance bill of 2017. Now, basically, government scrapped this ceiling that used to be there earlier on. Now, this ceiling was all about corporate firms. If you are a corporate firm and if you want to give money to a particular political party, then you can give only 7.5% of your average 3-year profit. So if your average 3-year profit is 100 rupees, then the max money that you can give is 7.5 rupees only. But this ceiling has been scrapped by the government, so it means that now this corporate firms can give more money, or it can give away 100 rupees altogether. All the profit that they have made in this year or next year, I beg your pardon, last year or year before that, they can give as much as money they like. And this also can create fake companies, or you can also find some firms being established just for the sole purpose of funding political parties. So this is a big thing, and this should be changed. The other thing is amendment to this Foreign Contribution Regulation Act FCRA 2010. What government has done is it has exempted political parties from scrutiny of foreign funds received by them, and a period of 42 years from now to, if you go back to 42 years, this big, nearly you can say half a century period is been provided with immunity. So all political parties, generally speaking, they have received some amount of money from foreign funders or foreign you can say donors, right, firms and individuals and other people. But now, because of this retrospective effect of this FCRA Amendment 2010, we will not be able to scrutinize them, and this indeed is adding more opaqueness to this transparency that we are trying to achieve. The other thing, and the big question, which is, I believe, a big misleading thing coming from the government has said that political donors' identity would remain confidential. This is the point number one, which I asked you to hold it in your mind for time being. Now, government is saying that if you are donating via electoral bonds, then your confidentiality will be maintained. Now we come to this invisible tracking number. Recently, an investigating journalist company or a media house, they did this experiment, right? They purchased 2 electoral bonds at different period. They found this hidden alphanumeric number, this invisible number printed on them, on this electoral bonds. So this raises a big question, that is government secret policing us? Is government keeping an eye on who is purchasing how much and who is giving how much to which political party? So how are they going to fulfill this promise of confidentiality? The other thing is, this hidden alphanumeric number, they are not visible to our naked eyes. Of course, that's the reason why we say them or call them hidden or invisible one. The thing is, if you want to see them, then you have to take it to a lab in which you have this ultraviolet light facility, which is not easily available at our home. So you have to take it to a sort of forensic lab or a proper lab. Only then you can come to know about this hidden number, alphanumeric number, that are printed on this electoral bonds. Now, when SBI is asked about, or SBI, what SBI is saying, because SBI is the bank that is authorized to issue these electoral bonds. SBI is saying that these invisible numbers are just security features, right? They are saying, or SBI is saying, that we do not have any record of the above number either from the donor or political party. That's what SBI is saying. Now remember, you can buy these electoral bonds only when you share your KYC details. So at least SBI is knowing how much worth of political bonds you have purchased. It's a different thing that SBI will not come to know. So far where we are at present in our discussion, SBI cannot know whether you are giving it to BJP, Congress, or any other particular political party. Now, bank, what they are saying is that bank is not authorized. SBI is saying that bank is not authorized to share the details of this number or this thing, this electoral bond and your KYC detail to government department or any other agency, but it can give it to investigating agency and courts under relevant laws. Now, the thing is, SBI is also arguing this, that if we don't have this numbers, that's what they are claiming, that they are a sort of security feature. If we don't have the serial number as per SBI, then there are high chances that we may find fake and counterfeit electoral bonds and in the market, and this will be detrimental for our whole system. Now, the question is, currency notes, they do have overt and covert features, right? And they too perform as a bearer bond. Now we can, if we can see many watermarks on our currency notes, we'd also see the serial number. Based on this serial number, RBI can cancel this notes as well. It can come out and print new notes, replacing this cancelled notes and things like that. But RBI will keep a track, or RBI will have the serial number. It will store and it will have the serial number in its database. There are watermarks as well. There are many things, isn't it, on our currency notes through which we can ensure that these notes are proper, legit notes and not the fake ones. And before these notes are released and during this early release period of notes, I'm sure we all are aware about this thing that you find in newspapers, in TV programs, and in advertisement, government advertisement and other places. Government will create this awareness campaign about some specific features of these notes, some codes and watermarks and other things, so that people like you and I can know this thing for sure, that this 2000 rupees note or 500 rupees note that we have in our hand is a legit note. Now, Indian currency carries these watermarks, visible things, or this covert features or overt features that can be checked with our visible eyes, with our naked eyes. They are visible if you keep them under certain light condition. Now the question is government trying to tell us that this notes, this, say for example 2000 rupees note, which is available throughout the year in different quantities, it is much, you can say, much in terms of value, its value is less compared to an item that is released for just 15 days, or that will be with someone's hand for 15 days, isn't it? You have January, you have 10 days to buy them, so within 15 days you have to encash it or it will go away. So it's a very small time bracket, isn't it, for you to come out with a fake this electoral bond. The other thing is, hidden number is not noted or recorded by SBI. This is what SBI is claiming. Then if they are not recording it, if they are not noting it down, then why you find this thing over there? Then there is no point of having that number, isn't it? You can add a couple of other watermarks or other security features. How will we come to know whether this thing is noted or not noted? And how it will work as a security feature if you are not noting it down or recording it at all? Now, a redeem process, or how this is the point number 2, that if you want to encash it, then how it works is basically you have to, how it works is it is generated by SBI, right? It is given to the donor by SBI. From donor it is given to political party, and this bond will return to SBI because you have to take it back to SBI, and from there you can hand it over to your particular, or the money will come into your designated bank. So eventually this electoral bond will be released by SBI and it will come back to SBI. It will change a couple of hands and then it will be back to SBI. So if you are not using or not recording this number, how will you come to know whether this is a genuine or a fake bond that is deposited in your, or that is given by a political party to you? Political party can come out with fake numbers, isn't it? They can produce this sort of thing. If you are not recording it, then how you are going to tally? So this is a big question. The other thing is the purchaser is allowed to buy electoral bonds only on the due fulfillment of exact KYC norms and by making payment from the bank account. So from your bank account they will come to know about this thing. The other thing is, if you go through this Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002 PMLA, what it says, it's section 15 says this thing, that central government may, in consultation with Reserve Bank of India, prescribe the procedure and manner of maintaining, furnishing information under subsection 1 of the section 12. So that means there is no legal bar on the government as far as this accessing your information is concerned, and this covers this political donor as well. So you have this wide discretion under this PMLA Act and the provisions under this PMLA. You have a wider discretion. Government has this wide discretion. It can twist and turn rules and regulation, and in future they can come out with certain rules through which they can know about who has purchased how much for whom. So this is a big thing, right? Isn't it? This is a very scary thing that if you're not noting it down, then why you need it at all? How you are going to use it as a security feature if you're not noting it down? And if this is the process through which how things are going on, and if you find a invisible tracking number, then certainly something fishy is going on. The other thing is, if we go through this section 18, State Bank of India Act 1955, then we find that the state bank shall be guided by such direction in matter of policy involving public interest, as the central government may, in consultation with governor of RBI and the chairman of State Bank of India, give to it. So government can ask or dictate RBI chief and this chairman of RBI governor, or RBI governor and SBI chairman, and they have to follow it, because when it comes to this public interest and things like that, if there is a clash or clash in opinion between RBI and SBI on one side and government, central government on the other side, then the final decision, the decision of the central government, their own shall be final. So government can ask for, government can say that in terms of public, or because of this public interest, we need you guys to keep a record of this invisible number, and we will ask you for that thing as well. So this can be done because you have these rules here. Of course, we can understand that no one is perfect, no system is perfect, but at present, with the help of this serial number on the bond, and once you match it with your KYC detail, then easily one can know who has paid how much or who has bought how much for whom. Now, take example of this GST. When we rolled out GST, we faced many problems, isn't it? And together we have, roughly speaking, sorted out many of the problems associated with GST. So same thing can be done with electoral bonds as well. Let's bring in more experts. Let's learn from best practices, and let's get rid of all these invisible numbers, because government has not said or has not issued this this warning or this thing that you have this invisible number. It is because of this investigation of a media house we came to know that we have this invisible number. So this is not fair in the part of government. They have to bring out this sort of information, and they need to sort out this whole thing. Only then we will have this clarity, or else what will happen is people will start paying this 1999 rupee as a cash, and you can pay it what multiplied by 1000, right? There are people who can give this much of money or more than that as well to political parties, but they will say that they will give it in this small amounts, or even if you give it in a big chunk, the political party will register that they have got cash of 1000 rupees, and they can make this multiple entries and they can fool us as well. So we need to sort this thing out. I hope things are clear to you now. With this, dear friends, I end this discussion here. If you have learned something out of it, please don't forget to give us your like, pass your valuable comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out StudyIQ.com for pen drive and tablet courses as well. Thank you very much for listening. Jai Hind.